place to be. Order. The Pledge of Allegiance will now be said, followed by a moment of silence and reflection.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please stay standing for a moment of silence. You may be seated.
The clerk will call the roll.
Aloko, Anderson, Baldinger, Benegas, Brazier, Coulomb, Koviak, Cumby, Sapolito, Davis, DiLorenzo, Dorsey, Greer, Fry, Bob, Day, George, Gopel, Hopkins, Hunter, Iftikhar, Jacobson, Cassetti, Keenan, Kern, Kirby, Lemery, Lewis, Lusry, Matthews, Manwaring, Middleton, Modica, Moncapucia, Pigford, Primus, Ryan, Sams, Sanders, Santiago Cedillo, Sheridan, Spurgeon, Silkert, Tapia, Palaka, Violet, Von Cannon, Walker, Watley.
With the quorum being present, is there a motion to approve the Journal of November 19th as found online? Is there a second? Without objection, so ordered. We are now in line for general orders of the Senate, beginning with reports from Senate leadership. Speaker Pro Tempore Violet, you are recognized.
Hey everybody. So rules met Sunday at 5:30 and we went over 4 pieces of legislation. The finance allocation piece was denied because the total amount of money being distributed to the org did not properly match the amounts that were listed in the description. Yeah, good work, Jack. I'm sorry. It's your last session. But I have to say 150 pieces this entire, term already is astounding work, and you should all be very proud of yourselves. And one last thing. Some of our delegation chairs might be leaving next semester. So if you are a delegation chair and you are leaving, please let me know. And with that, I will to questions.
The Speaker Pro Tempore yields his time to questions. Are there any questions? Seeing none, thank you. We will now hear a report from the Academics Committee. Chairperson Kobiak, you are recognized.
Good evening. Academics had to change our time we met this week, SG-wide, kind of was a, overlap that couldn't have happened. So we met on Monday, and we reviewed one piece of legislation that was sent to us, and it was found favorable. But with that, there's not really anything we have done right now. So with that, I yield my time to questions.
The chairperson yields their time to questions. Are there any questions? Seeing none, thank you. We will now hear a report from the Finance Committee. Chairman Matthews, you are recognized.
Hi. Yeah, thanks, Daniel. I did screw up the finance bill. Little typo. All right, so last, I guess 2 Fridays ago, we reviewed about $500 and approved $450. Let's see, there was that one judiciary piece we found favorable. Bill to promote student engagement at the beginning of the spring semester was found favorable. And the bill to add the new hosted conferences section was also found favorable with an amendment. That amendment includes adding a $15,000 limit on hosted conference requests per fiscal year. And so, that's not a per request limit. That is a limit on that category of requests per fiscal year. We don't want this is somewhat of a trial run as things are right now. We're going to see how this goes this spring. And so we want to have some sort of cap on there. And so we're just going to do $15K for now. That can be changed. We also originally said that you could only purchase refreshments in terms of food that's available for this kind of request. We just moved that to food, all kinds of food, doesn't matter what it was, with the exclusion of alcohol and whatever. That still is at $15 per person as a max. And then we clarified that orgs who are requesting money to host a conference can also submit separate requests for their members who attend such a conference, but that kind of request would only be registration fees. Obviously, no travel stuff or not travel stuff, lodging stuff, because this is here in Columbia already. So we made sure to clarify that. And yeah, that's the summary of that meeting. So yeah, this is my last time up here doing the Finance Committee, report. So it's been a great semester. We have accomplished quite a lot over the last few months. I mean, think about where we were back in April. Things were kind of a mess. We got through the rest of that budget, and we have gone through this budget at a very good pace. I'm very happy with where we are in terms of where the budget is now. We're sitting at about somewhere between $60,000 and $70,000 for the spring budget, and just a tiny sliver left in the fall that's going to roll over into the spring. I mean, we've made a lot of changes to the way this process works. Adding this hosted conference section is very exciting. I think it's going to bring a lot of good things to this campus and this school. It's been a pleasure, guys. I yield the question.
The chairman yields his time to questions. Are there any questions? Seeing none, thank you. We will now hear a report from the Health and Safety Committee. Chairwoman Cumby, you are recognized.
Hi everyone. We met last Wednesday after Senate, and we found SBL 117, 146 unanimously favorable, as well as SBL 117, 145. And we're just working on initiatives, and hopefully we'll have some more in the new year. I yield my time to questions.
The chairwoman yields her time to questions. Are there any questions? Seeing none, thank you. We will now hear a report from the Judiciary Committee. Chairwoman Diapolito, you are recognized.
Hey guys, Judiciary Committee met Monday at 5:15. We found SBL 117, 145 favorable with an amendment. The amendment just tightens up a few things, uses better terminology, and takes out any wordy things. Also changes one of the hour deadlines to university hours, like regular business hours, 5 o'clock to be specific. But yeah, I yield my time to questions.
The chairwoman yields her time to questions. Are there any questions? Seeing none, thank you. We will now hear a report from the Liberties and Representation Committee. Chairwoman Hopkins, you are recognized.
Hi, everyone. Sorry in advance if you can hear my bells. I always forget about them, but every time I move, they make a noise. So sorry if that's distracting. We met for our last time this semester on Monday at 4, which is our normal time. We really just talked about what the committee was going to look like next semester with me resigning. And I just kind of told everyone I was proud of them, which I'm proud of all of you. So yeah, we have a piece of legislation heading to the floor today, and I'm excited for that. So I will be back up here for that. Otherwise, I yield the questions.
The chairwoman yields her time to questions. Are there any questions? Seeing none, thank you. We will now hear a report from the Powers and Responsibilities Committee. Chairwoman Anderson, you are recognized.
Hey guys, Powers met at 5:15 on Monday on Zoom like normal, and we found SPL 117-145 unanimously favorable. Also, before Senate today, we interviewed Andrew Boswell, and he was found unanimously favorable, so he'll be the 4th person on the Senate waitlist. And I'm also resigning, so I just wanted to shout out my committee. This is the first time in a while that we've had a Senate waitlist, and they've done so many interviews, and obviously couldn't do it without them. And with that, I yield my time to questions.
The chairwoman yields her time to questions. Are there any questions? Seeing none, thank you. We will now hear a report from the Student Life Committee. Chairman Spurgeon, you are recognized.
Hi, we met at our normal time, 6 p.m. on Monday. Found everything favorable, including a university-wide standard minimum wage, a bill to add hosted conferences, and promote another bill that promotes student engagement at the beginning of the spring semester, and the bill to increase fairness in the elections code and health. I yield the questions.
The chairman yields his time to questions. Are there any questions? Seeing none, thank you. We will now hear a report from the Sustainability Committee. Chairwoman Gopal, you are recognized.
Hi everyone, happy Wednesday and happy holidays. We met at our regular time on Monday at 6:30 online. We found SBL 117-145 unanimously favorable. And then with that, I don't really have any other updates. When we get back, we're going to kind of look into like how to get people to like actually recycle and like ideas for that. So if you have any ideas, please let me know. But yeah, we will talk about that once we get back. And I will be here next semester, so I'm so excited to continue. I almost have the questions.
The chairwoman yields her time to questions. Are there any questions? Seeing none, thank you. We will now hear a report from the Freshman Council. Are there any representatives present? Y'all are recognized. And when you come down, like, tell us your name and, like, where you're from. Senator Keenan. Granted.
All right. Good evening, everyone. I'm Andy Tapera. I'm the Academic Committee for Freshman Council. And then
I'm Rachel Timmons. I'm also on Academics Committee.
all right, and the update we have for y'all today is for academics. We had our IMPA Finals week. We partnered with Health and Safety yesterday, and they had their brain food bar that went very well. And then we had both events on Monday and Wednesday. They went very well. We passed out Celsius. We had little planners that people could pick up and just study tips and stuff. And then for other committees, so for the Health and Safety Committee, they're also doing a Stop the Spike event on January 21st. And right now, they're currently trying to get supplies for that and access supplies for the testing kits. Okay, so tomorrow, Finals Fuel Station, that's like Student Life. Student Life is they're partnering with the President's Branch, and that's going to be at Davis Circle from 11 to 2. So y'all should all come out and show your support. And then
Sustainability is still working on their thrift shop pop-up for the spring semester, and also Liberties and Representations met with a U101 education leader to implement a transportation course into U101, and the leader actually really liked the idea, so they're going to further that into the next semester and try to implement that for U101 classes next year.
yeah, at this point, we gear our time to questions.
The representatives yield their time to questions. Are there any questions? Seeing none, thank you. Good job, y'all. We will now hear a report from the Constitutional Council. Are there any representatives present? Seeing none. We will now hear a report from the Speaker of the Senate. I'm recognizing myself. Hi guys, I kind of have a lot. So the first thing is these two QR codes up there right now are for if you're interested in applying for a committee chair chairpersonship, I'm also going to send the link out after Senate. So like if you don't scan it right now, it's not like it's going to go away. The reason that there's two separate applications is not that like one position is better or worse than the other. It's just for finance committee, I had like some additional questions that were very specific to that committee that not everybody needed to answer. An important thing to note, so I put in the bottom of both of these forms, there's a little checkbox that you're going to have to check off in order to submit your application. And it's just the understanding that you may submit your application for the finance committee chairpersonship, and I might contact you and say, hey, there's actually an opening in X, Y, and Z committee that's not finance. I think you'd be a better fit at that. So just know that like when you're submitting your application for this, I am still going to look at your answers and see how you're going to fit best in the context of like the entire Senate and all of the committees. So once again, the one on the left is for finance committee, and then the one on the right is for liberties and representation, powers, and then like if any other switches up, ending up happening, just like its general committee chair application. You're going to get this information in our post-Senate email, but our next Senate session is going to be January 14th. So we start school on January 12th, and we do have Senate that Wednesday, the 14th. There's only like 3 pieces of legislation tonight that are going to committee, so don't feel like you need to meet next week during finals. Please do not meet next week during finals. Focus on school. But like if for whatever reason they can't be done by the 14th, that's okay. We can just push them back by a week. During that month of January or the beginning of February, we're going to have our second Senate retreat of the year. It's codified to have one each semester, and I wanted to do one earlier in the semester. So if you have any like feedback, suggestions of anything that I can include in that retreat, let me know. Should be good there. Thank you for coming to SG Wide last night. I said this in the group meet, but I misread their email, and I thought that I only was able to shout out one person. If I had thought that I could shout out every single senator, I totally would. I have a bunch of Senate shout outs. In the interest of everybody's time, I'm going to do them at the end during the announcements, but don't leave early because you might get shouted out. And I'm really sorry, I did not know. Addison and I both were like, wait, we could have submitted probably 10 more people. It's not a reflection of what I think of Senate. I just misread an email. Also, I'm sure all of the exec is about to say the same thing over and over again, but it's codified that we need to have like a draft of our transition document because this is the last Senate session of the fall semester. All of those are going to be in the Google Drive. They're rough drafts. But like if you have any questions about that, let me know. If you can't find it, let me know and I can send them to you. And last thing, I think that we finalized which clicker online voting thing we're going to be using. I met with Jessica. They're going to be physical clickers, so kind of like the iClicker that y'all have in class if you've ever used them, like that. And there will be like a red button for no and a green button for yes and a yellow button for an abstain. And it will be good. So stay tuned on whether or not that's going to come next semester. It will be like next Senate's thing, but we're working on it. With that, I yield my time to questions. Are there any questions? Oh, the chairperson application closes on December 14th. So that is not this Sunday, but the following Sunday. Any questions? Seeing none, thank you. We'll now hear a report from the student body treasurer, Treasurer Ashley Reynolds, who are recognized.
Awesome. Hey y'all, happy Wednesday. So just our quick like normal reimbursement update. We have 0 right now awaiting assignment, so they've all been assigned if they've been submitted. We have 3 that have been assigned. We have 9 that are sitting in like the student info, so like we can't push them forward without student information. We have 9 others submitted for reimbursement. But I did want to say that, so we have 21 open tickets right now, and of them, 17 are waiting on student information. So we're just waiting on that. It's probably because it's like finals and all that stuff, so people are working on it. But Jack mentioned it briefly, but where we sit right now, as in not having passed finance committee, we have $8,355 left in the fall budget that will roll over to the spring. And we have $73,889 left in the spring. So when we start the semester, we'll be looking at 82,000-ish of our 92,000 in the spring, which is good. We spend about 56% of the budget and like for the entire fiscal year. Speaking of budgets, I'm submitting our internal budget for next fiscal year by this Friday. So if you have any random suggestions, any ideas, thoughts on things that you either want included or changed about our internal student government budget, so the stuff we use for initiatives, anything like that, please just let me know. If you have suggestions on next semester in general, I'll be doing some reflection on this semester over winter break. Please feel free to text me, call me, whatever works best for you. Jack also mentioned this, the hosted conferences thing. We're also meeting with Matt Hines to have that discussion this Friday, and to add it into the Garnet Gate form. And then Maura just said it, my first draft, very, very, very rough draft of my transition doc was sent in today as well. And then last but not least, Jack, you have been an amazing finance committee chair. And I didn't know anything coming into this job, and Jack, he saved me. So like, thank you to Jack and all of finance committee. Like, you will definitely be missed, as well as everyone else who's going abroad. Like, I love all of you and miss all of you, and can't wait to see you all when you get back. So with that, I yield my time to questions.
The treasurer yields her time to questions. Are there any questions? Seeing none, thank you. We will now have a report from the student body vice president. Vice President Jordan Richardson, you are recognized.
Hello, everyone. Don't have much today. I do have my very rough transition document. I guess we don't have to present it.
No. Wait, sorry, I didn't mean to. No,
No.
you do not.
Okay.
People are happy or more than welcome to look through them if they go to.
Okay. Well, I've prepared this. All I really have is freshman council's doing a final field station tomorrow from 11 to 2 on Davis Field. That's all I have. Oh, thank you. I yield my time to questions.
The vice president yields his time to questions. Are there any questions? Seeing none, thank you. We will now have a report from the student body president. President Courtney Cox, you are recognized.
Hey y'all, fabulous and session of the semester. So the past few weeks, I've been super busy with my board presentation. So it is finalized, it's getting submitted tomorrow. However, a lot of it is the verbal component on the 16th, and I'm trying to make sure that everybody's voices are heard. So if you have anything that you would like to get across, or you want vocalized regarding either Russell House expansion or the campus activity, please let me know. Just send me an email with a statement if you want to do so. But kind of going off of that too, I got my survey responses back. We had over 1,300 responses from students. They really wanted those Clemson Carolina tickets. I got them. So based on that information, 41% of students wanted their fee dollars spent on an increase of programming and initiatives. Unfortunately, we can't have an increase of programming and initiatives without an increase in the campus activity fee. And then 42% of students said they wanted their fee dollars spent on an increase on building new infrastructure or renovating current infrastructure. Some of the big key spaces that were consistently brought up were study spaces, organizational space, commuter space, and graduate student space. So really happy with how all of that went. An additional survey is your Explored Blue surveys. I've been working with the provost office since probably the last survey session in the spring. But we will be on Davis Circle tomorrow handing out Sweetwater's coffee and hot chocolate. And if you complete all of your surveys, you'll be automatically entered to win a $250 worth of Carolina cash. So make sure that you're doing that. Additionally, I think I brought this up last week, but we are purchasing 80 round-trip Columbia-Charlotte shuttle trips for students in need. So if they do need more accessibility for a shuttle there, we're going to try to see what the usage is. Is this something that we should invest in further? But going off of the transportation part, our RFP with the state is going to go into effect in January, meaning that we're going to be able to spend more than $10,000 on rideshare programs. So again, if you have any ideas with where our Uber discount money should go, please let me know. Looking ahead to next semester, I just want to put these two dates on your calendar. February 17th is Carolina Day. So this is a great way to interact with our legislators, talk about what you're working on, thank them for the work that they've been doing. But it's a really, really cool opportunity. We're going to be doing a lot of letter writing. So if there's a specific legislator that you want to write to, we'll have a sign up. And then the other date is March 2nd. That's going to be the State of the Student Body. It's going to be in Rutledge Chapel. This year we're doing it slightly differently, where GR is actually going to give all three of their presentations. We're going to have a brief intermission
and then the State of the Student Body is going to start. That is a special Senate session, so you guys will open the State of the Student Body, but it's a great way to just reflect on the work that all of student government's done over this year. I have a very, very rough draft of my transition doc. I still feel like I'm transitioning as president every single day because it's a new issue every single day. But I'm going to take a lot of time over Christmas break to internalize how my role has gone and what advice I have for the next person. So be on the lookout for a hefty novel. But also, if there's anything that I can do to support you over the next semester, please let me know. Happy to help. Excited for you all. Thank you guys so much to our chairpersons or anybody that's studying abroad. I've worked with a lot of you since you guys have been in freshman counseling from little babies. So I'm so proud of the work that you guys have done. Unfortunately, I won't see you next semester because I'm graduating. So bye, but have a great time abroad. With that, I yield my time to questions.
The president yields her time to questions. Are there any questions?
Awesome.
Seeing none, thank you. We are now in line for special orders of the Senate. Are there any letters, petitions, appointments, applications, or other? The clerk will now read.
A communication from the Office of the Speaker of the Student Senate regarding vacant seat applicant Turner Wilson and Valentino Lando.
The application is referred to the Powers and Responsibilities Committee. Continuing on with the special orders of the Senate, are there any letters, petitions, appointments, applications, or other? The clerk will now read. Seeing no more special orders of the Senate, we are now in the motion period. Are there any motions on the floor at this time? Senator Matthews. There's been a motion to add a recommendation to the first reading calendar. Is there a second? All those in favor say aye. All opposed. The ayes have it. The bill is added to the first reading calendar and granted the legislative number of 151. Senator Jacobson. There's been a motion to remove Senator Jacobson from the Finance Committee. Is there a second? Without objection, so ordered. Chairman Matthews. Does the sponsor find this friendly or unfriendly? Seeing as the sponsor has found this amendment friendly, the amendment is now adopted. Chairwoman Diapolito. Does the sponsor find this friendly or unfriendly? Seeing as the sponsor has found this amendment friendly, it is now adopted. Senator Kern. There's been a motion to remove Senator Kern from the Health and Safety Committee. Is there a second? Did someone say second? Oh, without objection, so ordered. Any other motions on the floor at this time? Seeing no further motions, is there a motion to dispense of this motion period? Is there a second? Without objection, so ordered. We are now on the call of the introduction of new legislation. The clerk will now read.
SBL 117-148, sponsored by Senator Lewis, a resolution to congratulate the 2025 homecoming king and queen.
Senator Lewis, you are recognized.
Yeah, this is pretty simple. This is basically a resolution to recognize our 2025 homecoming king and our homecoming queen here at the University of South Carolina. So I think it's, pretty simple. And I think, that, students voted for these two individuals to be their king and queen. So, yeah, I look forward to talking about this and we'll be back. I yield my time to questions.
The senator yields his time to questions. Are there any questions? Senator Kirby.
Yeah, the 2025 homecoming king is Myron Harris, and then the queen is Isha Patel.
Senator Silkert. There's been a motion to pass SBL 117-148 by unanimous consent. Right. This legislation, any other questions? This legislation is now referred to the Student Life Committee. Continuing on with the call of the new legislation, the clerk will now read.
SBL 117-149, sponsored by Senator Lewis, a recommendation to adjust the fall academic calendars.
Senator Lewis, you are recognized.
Yeah, so basically this is a recommendation. It's basically asking the university to look at our fall academic calendar. And so we're in the fall academic calendar now, but to be truthful, it's kind of very inconvenient that we get a week long for Thanksgiving, then we come back for a week of class, and then we take finals, and then we leave. It's kind of inconvenient. But what really sparked my interest of that is that there's one South Carolina school that's done this model, it's going to online, and it's right here in Columbia, it's Benedict, and then there's another school that's actually looking at making this decision, so watching that school too. But I think that this is something that would be very beneficial, to students, so, it can be many options of how we can achieve this, start a week early or, go online, but I think this is very beneficial and it's something unique again, and it's one of those ideas I think that's going to benefit a lot of students. With that, I yield to questions.
The senator yields his time to questions. Are there any questions? Senator Walker.
Yeah, it's Benedict College, and they went 100% remotely after the Thanksgiving break.
Sorry. Thank you. Senator Keenan.
This will be all. I didn't put a specific status student on the recommendation. It'll be all. I really can't answer that because that'd be more of like a provost to figure those logistics out, those really details. But I think anything could be worked out.
Senator Sheridan.
I have a preference, so whichever will work. But again, it will be up to the provost and to work those logistics out and what they see best according to law and policy.
Chairperson Koviak.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think those needs are like that, so if you look at the recommendation, it said that the remote could be one option like that. We could do it like we did for to get a week of Thanksgiving break. Start school early, then it will accommodate those schedules where you take your finals before your Thanksgiving break. So all those options like that.
Any other questions? Seeing none, this legislation is now referred to the Academics Committee. Continuing on with the call of the new legislation, the clerk will now read.
SBL 117-150, sponsored by Senators Whatley and Hopkins, a recommendation to support the translation of a text written by the German prisoners of war at Fort Jackson.
The sponsors are recognized. Sorry, the cat came off. This is Jasmine's piece, so I'll let her say the read.
Hello, everyone. So this is just a pretty simple recommendation just to ask if the Anderson Center would like some support on getting one of their specific texts translated. It's just some text written by the German prisoners of war at Fort Jackson. There's currently no English translation for it. It's only in German. And we did already meet with them, and they agreed that this would be a great idea. So we would just be offering our support to help encourage this process go along smoothly.
And one more thing, they said that a lot of the stories outlined in it, there are only a few translations of it globally, so having this available at the University of South Carolina would be really enriching for all of us. Good. We yield the question.
The sponsors yield their time to questions. Are there any questions? Seeing none, this legislation is now referred to the Academics and Liberties and Representation Committees. Continuing on with the call of the new legislation, the clerk will now read.
SBL 117-151, sponsored by the Finance Committee, a recommendation to permit the Finance Committee to allocate funds.
Senator Matthews, you are recognized.
Hello. Yeah, we approved $462 for the orgs listed in the bill. I yield the question.
The chairman yields his time to questions. Are there any questions? Senator Jacobson. There's been a motion to pass SBL 117-151 by unanimous consent. They didn't vote yet. Okay. Seeing no objections, this legislation is now adopted. Continuing on with the call of the new legislation, the clerk will now read. Hearing none, that completes the call of the new legislation. We are now on the call of the uncontested calendar. The clerk will now read.
SBL 117-142, sponsored by Senators Kobiak, Fry, Sanders, a recommendation to develop a university standard minimum wage of $15 an hour for all student workers.
The sponsors are recognized.
Did not know it would just be me. But did get some questions in committee about like where this kind of piece came from. So I wanted to give a little bit of background. Specifically, and I can send this link to anyone who wants to read about it. This is actually an article dating from 2023. So our local campus union, it's one of the largest in the state when it comes to student workers unions, and also covers not just students, but our faculty, employees, all that kind of stuff. United Campus Workers, they have been asking since 2023, this article is dated for in October 26th, to ask for higher pay due to inflation. That is where the $15 an hour ask came from. And originally when that was asked for, they did very quickly make some gains. They were formed in 2020, and from 2020 to 2023 was able to get a $5 raise from 10 to 15. And then we're currently still sitting at the 15 that was established in 2023. However, again, specifically when you look at it, a lot of people are under the misconception that $15 an hour is applicable to all campus workers. Currently, if you look at the actual website from HR, and I can send that link along as well if you would like to look at it, it is specifically only applicable to those who are temporary workers and for graduate students, and to a degree some salary. It does not currently apply to undergraduate, full workers. And so this would be essentially asking for that policy that exists for some students on campus to exist for all. It's just in compliance with what the campus union has already been asking for. Currently, they've actually been asking for 20 due to already getting 15, and it doesn't really meet a lot of needs still. But that 15 is just kind of like we've done it for everything else, why can't we do this for this? So, but with that, you have the time for questions.
The chairperson yields their time to questions. Are there any questions? Seeing none, we will now move to a voice vote on this legislation. All those in favor of passage say aye. All opposed. The ayes have it. This legislation is now adopted. Continuing on with the call of the new the uncontested legislation, the clerk will now read.
SBL 117-143, sponsored by Senators Walker, Manwaring, Fry, Violette, a recommendation to add a ramp leading to the Russell House Theater.
The sponsors are recognized.
Hi, everyone. This is basically is what it says it is, adding a ramp. It's just simply a great addition to our campus. And as a university, this is something we should do, is making the campus more accessible. Before I give this to Daniel, I'd like to shout out Bradley. Bradley's in the president's cabinet. I forgot what his position is, but this was actually his.
Student Affairs.
Thank you. The transfer of student affairs. This was actually his idea, so I wrote this because of him. So I like to, acknowledge him.
As a frequent stair user, I think it would be nice if we had some successful options. And with that, we yield the question.
Anything to add, Phyllis?
I was just gonna say, I think as somebody who uses stairs, but as somebody who does not always like to use stairs, I think having the option of the two stairs is great when thinking about more students can come in, but it's not like everyone's been saying, it's not as accessible as it should be. That is an option.
We yield our time to questions.
Any questions? Senator Gopel. There is technically a ramp, but it's like in the back rooms and like it's like in the back rooms. It's not very nice. Yeah. Yeah. But like in an emergency there is one. Okay. Any other questions? Seeing none, we will now move to a voice vote on this legislation. All those in favor of passage say aye. All opposed. The ayes have it. This legislation is now adopted. Continuing on with the call of the uncontested legislation, the clerk will now read.
SBL 117-146, sponsored by Senators Aloko and Baldinger, a recommendation to initiate a pilot program for healthier vending machines at the College of Nursing Clinical Education Program, Williams-Brice Building, Arnold School of Public Health, and Darla Moore School of Business.
The sponsors are recognized.
Okay, hi. Emma says she's really sorry that she couldn't be here today, but there's one new thing that's been added, and that's that the Coca-Cola machines should have some healthy additions like protein shakes and low sugar tea starting January 7th, which is the official start date of the pilot. And then also some healthy vending machines have already been making an appearance in places on campus like Williams-Brice Nursing Building and the Clinical Education Building. So if you want to look there, they have more baked chips instead of fried. There's candy with less sugar. And there's also a lot of granola bars just to help with energy throughout the day so people aren't crashing out. But with that, I yield my time to questions.
The senator yields her time to questions. Are there any questions? And also, Senator Loco has clinicals during Senate next semester, so she is also resigning. So if you see her, wave hi. Really sad about it, but any questions? Seeing none, we will now move to a voice vote on this legislation. All those in favor of passage say aye. All opposed. The ayes have it. This legislation is now adopted. Continuing on with the call of the uncontested legislation, the clerk will now read.
SBL 117-147, sponsored by Chairman Matthews, a bill to promote student engagement at the beginning of the spring semester.
Chairman Matthews, you are recognized.
Hello. Yeah, so this bill is the same. We did the same thing with the fall semester. I think we passed that back in the beginning of September. There's always just a weird gap at the beginning of these semesters where sometimes orgs can't submit requests far enough in advance for us to review them. And so this just creates another small window at the beginning this time of the spring semester to allow us to look at those events and approve or at least review those events in Finance Committee after the event has happened, which otherwise would not be possible by the current rule. Yeah, that's it. I yield the question.
The chairman yields his time to questions. Are there any questions? Seeing none, we will now move to a voice vote on this legislation. All those in favor of passage say aye. All opposed. The ayes have it. This legislation is now adopted. Continuing on with the call of the uncontested calendar, the clerk will now read. Hearing none, that completes the call of the uncontested calendar. We are now on the call of the contested legislation. The clerk will now read.
SBL 117-31, sponsored by Senators Coolum, George, Koviak, Walker, and Violette, a resolution to establish an ad hoc committee to research and propose alternatives for the student government holiday term.
Senator Violette. Oh, you're okay. The calendar is just a watch. It's not, yeah. Okay. There's been a motion to carry over SBL 117-31. Is there a second? All those in favor say aye. All opposed. The ayes have it. The legislation is carried over. Continuing on with the call of the contested calendar, the clerk will now read.
SBL 117-144 is sponsored by the Finance Committee, a bill to add a hosted conference section to Chapter 3.
Chairman Matthews, you're recognized.
Hello, hello.
Every time you get up, I keep being like, "Oh, it's his last time talking," and then you just keep getting up.
I'm never gonna leave. Maybe I won't go abroad. Okay, yeah. So this is just on the contested calendar because we amended it not once but twice. And so yeah, sorry, Addie, it's my bad. Anyways, so yeah, this is just adding a new type of request. Right now we've got we got programs, conferences, and tournaments. This bill would change the normal conference title to external or I think externally attended conference. And then the new type is a hosted conference, which is specifically an org is requesting funding for a conference that they are hosting here at the University of South Carolina. The reason why we wanted to do this, make this new request, is because right now the only way that they could potentially request money for something like this is to go through the normal program type of request, but that gets tricky because you can't really charge people for that type of request, nor can you deny entry. And so this is, if we decided to interpret things in one way, like maybe we could make it work. But this is just a much cleaner way to do it. There is an org that is been trying to put together a big conference here on campus. It's an engineering org, and we're trying to help them out with that. And we expect that once this option becomes available, we're going to see a lot more organizations hosting, professional organizations hosting conferences on campus, which will be exciting, especially if we have a new Russell House with more space in the next, 30 years. Anyways, that's what's going on. If you guys have questions about what can and can't get funded with this, I'll yield the questions.
The chairman yields his time to questions. Are there any questions? Senator Jacobson. There's been a motion to bypass the period debate and move to voice vote on this bill. Is there a second? All those in favor say aye. All opposed. The ayes have it. We will now move to a voice vote on this legislation. We are now on a voice vote on this piece of legislation. All those in favor of passage say aye. All opposed. The ayes have it. The legislation is now adopted. Continuing on with the call. Sorry, last year, guys, we never clapped. So every time you do that, I still kind of get surprised. Continuing on with the call of the contested calendar, the clerk will now read.
SBL 117-145, sponsored by the Judiciary Committee, a bill to increase fairness within the Elections Commission and Elections Code.
Chairwoman Diapolito, you're recognized.
Hey guys, it's basically the same. It's just taking out a bunch of loopholes in the codes and tightening them all up. Make it fair. I yield my question. Oh, actually, before I yield that, I want to just clarify that it's on the contested calendar because Judiciary added the amendment. That's fine. I yield my time to questions.
The chairwoman yields her time to question. Are there any... I almost lost her. Sorry, guys. Are there any questions? Sorry. Senator Jacobson. There's been a motion to bypass the period of debate and move to a voice vote on this legislation. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye. All opposed. The ayes have it. We will now move to a voice vote. All those in favor of passage say aye. All opposed. The ayes have it. This legislation is now adopted. Continuing on with the call of the contested legislation, the clerk will now read. Hearing none, that completes the call of the contested legislation. We are now in line for a period of open discussion. Does any senator wish to bring a matter of attention to the body? Senator Violette. Sorry, I just coughed like that, guys. That was like really. People in the 115th that reminded me to sneeze me when I sneezed right into the microphone.
Hey, everybody. So just a quick thing, because
Sorry. Keep going. Keep going. I'll get it.
Okay. So, I got a bunch of texts about why do you object to that, to the resolution. And this is a bit of a philosophy I've had since I had a conversation with our speaker, actually. I think we need to be very careful about the resolutions that come out of this body because they're 100% the opinion of us as a body. No offense to Myron or Isha. I'm sure they're both wonderful people. But, they already got their congratulations when thousands of people clapped at them at the football game. I think we need to be very careful about what comes through this and, what we express as our opinions. Another thing is, top topic. For the SBL 117-31, the ad hoc committee, we just never got that amendment through. So once we get that amendment, it will be back. Trust. And with that, I yield to questions.
The Speaker pro tempore yields his time to questions. Are there any questions? Senator Jacobson.
Thanks, Ash.
Okay. Any other questions? Seeing none, thank you. We are still in the period of open discussion. Does any senator wish to bring a matter of attention to the body? Chairwoman Hopkins.
Sorry, I'll keep this short. I know we all want to get out of here, but as it's my last Senate session, I just wanted to say that I'm really thankful for everyone who has contributed to my student gov experience, which is everyone here. It's been 2 years now. Can't believe it's over. Really proud of all of you and can't wait to see what you do. And I will have internet and WhatsApp in Chile, so hit me up. Let me know what's happening. I'll be a little removed from society, so kind of sad. Yeah, I yield to the well.
We are still in the period of open discussion. Does any senator wish to bring a matter of attention to the body? Holy crap. Chairwoman Diapolito. There's been a motion to pass SBL 117-148 by unanimous consent. We're still in a period of open discussion. Does any senator wish to bring a matter of contention to the body? Senator Lemery. I really like your outfit.
Thank you. I just wanted to say thank you for these the 4 months that I've been here. I felt very welcome here, I must say, and I really enjoyed my time, and I really enjoyed helping to make the university a better place. Thank you.
Sebastian, do you yield to questions or the well, or he's studying abroad, by the way.
Apologies, I yield to the well.
Oh.
Coventry, England.
Oh. Okay.
I yield to the well.
Okay. We're still in line for a period of open discussion. Does any senator wish to bring a matter of attention to the body? Senator Iftikhar.
I'll try to keep this short and just sort of personal note. I just wanted to thank all of you, especially I know a lot of us are leaving. I just wanted to thank you for the memories that you've made. I just wanted to thank you for your mentorship, your leadership, and I wanted to thank you for making me better, making us better, making student government better, and making at least my college experience richer. And as a personal hero of mine once remarked, success is not final, failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. Now that I wish that for you, I think that's the most important thing that you go away. I know some of us are graduating, some of us are going abroad, but I'll miss all of you on this. Thank you. I give you the bench.
Does any other senator wish to bring a matter of attention to the body? Senator Walker.
Hi guys, I have an update about my tunnel legislation SBO 116. So the designer Sam Powell, I mean it's not really good, but it's not bad either. So I originally told you guys when I last reached out to her that the design will be completed on December 1st. She reached out to me on November 26th saying that she is a little stressed with finals. She needs more time. So she's estimating to have the design completed by the end of winter break. So I just want to update you guys on that. I also want to say the entire Dollar More delegation, I will be reaching out to every single senator within that delegation because they're the ones really, I think, walking through it every day. So I want their opinions. And if anybody else here wants to see the design, once it's out, I'll send it. But yeah, hopefully after winter break, and we'll see then. Then that's it with that. And I just want to say to all those leaving, I hope you do well, safe travels. Yeah, and I yield to questions.
Senator Walker yields her time to questions. Are there any questions? Seeing none, thank you. We are still in a period of open discussion. Does any senator wish to bring a matter of attention to the body? Seeing none, we are now in line for a period of announcements. Are there any announcements from the floor? Okay. Good thing I have one, and it's gonna be long because it's all of my shout outs. Sorry, it's gonna be good, and you guys might get shouted out. Don't be party people. If you are traveling abroad or resigning for whatever reason, will you stand up really quickly just so we can like all see? Hey, well, count them. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people, and we have 7 people on the wait list and 2 more people to be interviewed. So good job. Round of applause for everybody who's standing up. You all have done amazing. Some of you already got up and spoke, but like everybody is going to do great things. Super proud of y'all. I'm gonna go through like individually. Y'all are my shout outs. I didn't know that I could do multiple people and just highlight some things about all of you. Senator Dorsnowski has been here for 2 years. He's been super committed. He's always showing up when he's supposed to. He passes great pieces of legislation, and he did a great job when he was here in the 117th, and hopefully he comes back next year. Senator Kirby is probably the only person who knows more about Robert's rules than me. So I really appreciated his insight over the past semester, and I'm really sad that he's going to be fraud next semester, but hopefully you come back. I love all my chairpersons. I hate to lump y'all together, but everybody knows and loves y'all, so I want to say that. Senator Dorsey, it was his birthday yesterday. Happy late birthday, Senator Dorsey. He was actually my shout out yesterday because I wanted to commend him on being a great vice chairperson. He always had great minutes. He showed up for all his committee meetings, and it was a really good sign of his work ethic that every single week at Rules, Lauren would basically be like, oh my gosh, my vice chairperson is awesome, and he's helping me out so much. So good job there. Senator Silkert has also been in Senate for 2 years, and she's passed great legislation then, so I hope you do really, really well. And then Senator Lamary, you already got up, but I love your piece about the history of USC course. You're always fitted up at Senate, which I love, and you're going to have so much fun in England. But round of applause for all of them. Okay. And I really want to reiterate again, I wish I could shout everybody out. I felt really bad after yesterday, but with that, I yield my time to questions. Are there any questions? Do we all know when the next Senate session is? Somebody tell me. Yep. So, one more time, when's our next Senate session, please? Okay, perfect. Sounds good. With no further questions, is there a motion to adjourn? Is there a second? Without objection, the Senate will now stand adjourned until Wednesday, January 14th, 2026.